Hey, it's Drew from Small Town Big Business. Hey, thanks for joining this training. I'm pretty excited to share this because this is a proven system. This is a mix. What I'm about to show you is a mix between years of doing this binder full of what I call action lists. So they're basically to-do lists, but they're I want to give a better name than that, right? They're action lists. And then there's I'm going to show you how to do this with just a legal pad. Now you can use one of these. I have a table just off camera. You can use one of these, writing journals. This is like the composition book, is what it's called. But what I had a real problem with some of these planners, with one of the day-to-day. They're called journals, and so I get it. They're called journals, right? You journal daily. But that was a problem to me. I felt like I was losing more time. I felt like I was being unproductive with some of my time because every day I was writing essentially the same. Really tasks. There were tasks that I didn't get to, and so that's just normal, right? I mean, you're going to have a lot of little tasks, and some you put on the back burner, and the day goes by, and and they're good to go. Like you can get to them like throughout the week. You can get to the end of the week, and you can get to them and be fine. Life isn't going to implode. So let me start here. So I have a dark blue marker, and first things first, I'm going to do this in the air, so rather than being on a table, I'm going to take my hand and just kind of measure. Don't give yourself a paper cut, but I'm going to draw a line straight down the side, and you can see what it looks like. You can see that there's a thin column over here. Now, why do I do this? Because we tend to read, well, we don't tend to read, we read. We, in America, we English-speaking people, we read left to right. So here's what happens with a lot of to-do lists. Right off the bat, they start just listing stuff. People start just listing stuff to do, and since we naturally read left to right, we start looking at potentially the things that are least important as far as priority goes, and we skip over, we're missing out, because we could go right through the day and then go, oh, let's see, let me go down in order. That's the worst thing you can do, because this is not how your brain's going to work. You need to brain dump your ideas and your tasks that you need to do that are on your plate mentally, and get them over here in no particular order. And so if you do it right here, left to right, you could potentially go down there, get to the end of the day, and say, oh, I meant to get that done. I didn't do it. Shoot, the deadline was today. So that's the problem with left to right. My battery's flashing. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so what's the next thing? Well, what I started doing is I started putting a section down here. Now, what I would do even more columns, and I'll tell you what to do with these. So I'm going to take this, my marker. I don't need it anymore. Oh, I'll tell you what, let's do one more thing with the marker. What I would also do is I would put week, let's see, we're in like week 3 as the date of this recording. So week 3, January, and then I would put the dates. So that's another thing how I head this up, because then when I 3-hole punch this and put it in my binder, I'm able to kind of go back, and especially if I get to the next week and I didn't get to all the tasks on my list or in here, which I'm going to tell you how to fill this in a minute, I didn't get to everything. Well, at least I can see because some tasks we know are going to need to be broken into many little smaller tasks. Okay, so I'll put that heading up there with my marker so it's easy to scan and get in there. Now, people. I always need to get in touch with people. And so I draw little stick figures. So I'll put a little stick figure down here, and let's just say John. And if I feel like I'm going to have some trouble remembering who John is, especially if he's new, maybe he contacted me on LinkedIn. All right, I don't know him from Adam, or just one step from knowing him from Adam. Right, I need a little bit of precursor here. I can just put LI, right, LinkedIn. I just put something in there just to note. What's important is that you understand what the heck to do with that person, where they came from, especially if they're brand new and they're very much an acquaintance to you. Okay, so I'll list people right here, and I got to get in touch with a lot of people, so I would use like these first 2 columns for people. Maybe this might be people I need to get in touch with or call, and this might be people I need to email. If you run a team, this might be people you need to get back in touch with, that they're waiting on you or you're waiting on them, and then you make a person right there. So here's the tweaks that I would do to my system. Let me go ahead and insert this right here. Is I would make a goals section. Now, if you don't need all these columns right here, I'd put your goals right here. All right, now I just put people right there because a lot of times people getting in touch with people is really important, and it's left to right. So it's right at the bottom of this, left to right, people, reminders, boom, you see it, you're reminded of it, get going. You can even put phone numbers down here and emails, whatever, in the space too. That's how I use this section right here. Now, what happens naturally, I'm not able, like over time, I figured out that I wasn't able to do everything so in one day. So I just put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is where my version veers off a little bit of what I mentioned in my other video. I gave props to Neville, a copywriter guy, and had this productivity hack. So I actually put my week on there because what I found over time, I wasn't getting through everything. Now here's another thing. If I got so sloppy on this piece of paper, fine, make another. What if I didn't get through all 5 days? Fine, it's cheap, it's legal pad paper, whatever, make another. Just, cross those out and keep going. But the last thing I want to tell you is it's going to be important is that you rewrite your goals, or you make sure that those goals, maybe you use the top page of your legal pad and you commit that to goals and you don't touch it. Or maybe you put a sticky note like a bookmark in your legal pad, and that is your goal. Like you rip off a sticky note and you stick it right here where the edge comes out, and it says goals, and you can look back like at maybe the last page of it. Okay, in fact, that's a great idea. I just came up with that just recording this. But you got to be able to see your goals. That's the one thing after using the full focus planner. Now this is expensive. After using this though for about 3.5 months, that's one thing, that the goals were listed right here, and it had a tag right there. It had, not a tag, it had a bookmark ribbon kind of thingy, and I was reminded of those goals every day. And I think that made a real difference, because I can look at these goals and see one's crossed off, and then I got 2 more that are works in progress at least. Okay, so I didn't accomplish the few for quarterly yet, personally speaking here, but at least they're works in progress, and I feel good that I've made progress on those. I had those goals forever. I've had those goals for a long time. But this, I will attribute this daily journal to that, getting closer to accomplishing those goals. But that's what I think did it. And that's the component that's missing with a do-it-yourself component, right? If you do poor man's, po boy's planner or task list method, like what I'm showing you here, then at least get a page on your pad, put it back here. I'll show you how I did the, you can see I ran out of bookmarks on this, and so I did the same thing. I took a bookmark, a little sticky note, and I stuck it right there, because now I can see that there were certain notes that I wanted to revisit, and I'm out of bookmarks on this thing. I only have 2. So that is the system. Now, feel free, again, like in the other video, I said feel free or expect that your system is going to become your own. That's okay. Don't expect anything cookie cutter that already exists to just adopt it 100%. You're going to run into things like this. Like I ran into Neville's. I thought it was a great start. And then as I organically just went through my work days, I found out that I needed, well, you know what? Let's not go into another page, because I'm just wasting more time writing everything down again. So I just wrapped it up, and I did like a week. Sometimes, much of the time, a whole week at a time. And sometimes just 2 or 3 days was all I could fit right here. And then I just ripped the page and 3-hole punched it, put it in my binder, kind of archived it. And then I went on to the next one I made Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or just Thursday, Friday. So that's that. That's my system. I hope that was helpful. Tell you what, if you have anything to add, if it was helpful, I'd love to hear both. If you have something to add, or some little time hack that you come up with too that works really nicely, that's cool. Share it, send it to me, send it to Drew at smalltownbigbusiness.com. I'd love to hear it. And yeah, that's all I got. All right, so that takes care of that. This is Drew Hudgens, founder of Small Town Big Business, the place for small town entrepreneurs and business owners to grab marketing tips and tricks and time savers. And I'll see you in future videos. Thanks so much.